Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Catherine and I'm an artist. This is my first studio vlog and I thought I would just let you know what I've been up to so far this year. The painting I'm working on here is of a hedgehog that I'm doing to eventually turn into a card for my partner's mum's birthday. I'm using acrylic paints on paper. All I've done so far is draw out the rough shape of the hedgehog, and I'm starting with the eye, which isn't what I usually do. I usually leave them to the end and I have no idea why I do that. But I've watched some tutorials now and they all start with the eye first, so I thought I'd give it a go. I haven't painted much wildlife before, as I tend to do landscapes or seascapes, but it's an area of art that I really want to get into and I want to get better at. So this year for me is all about practicing new techniques and being a bit more adventurous with what I paint. I'm an artist that loves to paint in the details, and I find it very satisfying when a painting starts to look realistic. So I think painting wildlife is the perfect next step for me, as I know I'm going to really enjoy painting the individual hairs of the animal. To be honest with you, with this painting, I didn't have much of a game plan of how I was going to do it, so I kind of just went with the flow and started building up the layers. So me being me, I completely forgot to film me painting the hedgehog's body, but I'm quite pleased with how it's looking so far. I still need to add in some of the lighter hairs and figure out how I'm doing the grass, because I just want him to be standing on a little patch of grass and not have a background in it. So here I'm just practicing the grass on a bit of scrap paper because I'm really pleased with how the hedgehog is looking and I was so nervous about messing it up. I also had to practice painting the spines several times because I genuinely had no idea how to go about painting them, but I ended up using an angled brush and just splodged the paint on and it seemed to do the trick. Here's the finished painting. I'm really happy with it and I think he looks really cute. I like the look of the grass, but I don't like the shape of it, so I'll edit it when I do the prints. So when I'm getting a painting that has a white background ready for prints, I always remove the white paper because I don't want the texture of the paper to be printed. I use Photoshop to do this, and I use the magic eraser tool. I then use the regular eraser tool to go around the edges and get rid of any of the remaining white paper. It's quite a time-consuming step, but it's definitely worth it if you want to get a clean finish to your prints. I print out all of my own cards, prints, notepads and bookmarks myself with my Epson ET 8550. This printer was quite a big investment for my very small Etsy business, but it now gives me the freedom to make so many more things, such as the notebooks and bookmarks. It means that I don't have to order lots of stock, which I don't have the storage space for. It's also a lot more cost efficient than ordering online, so I can now make a small profit on cards, whereas before I really wasn't making anything. I did a lot of research before buying this printer and found that the ink is much cheaper than ink cartridges and lasts a lot longer. I haven't had to refill the inks yet, and I bought the printer about 7 months ago. I thought I'd just go through some of the test prints with you. I really struggled to get the contrast right, so it took a few attempts. The camera's not properly capturing what they actually look like, so they look more washed out and flat than they actually are, but I'll show you a better photo of it later. This is a print that I'd done using the scanner, and I didn't adjust much to it, but as you can see, the fur around the face is very harsh, and I also lost a lot of detail in the grass. This was another edit from the scanned photo, and I tried reducing the contrast and increasing the brightness, but it's come out very flat and is way too yellow. I decided to try taking a high quality photo of the painting because I think the scanner was making everything look too harsh and sharp. So this was the first I did with the camera, and I was much happier with the colours, but it was still too flat and the blacks came out grey, so it didn't stand out. So this is my final print, and on the camera it looks terrible, but I promise in person it looks a lot better. But what I did was increase the contrast around the spines, ear, eyes, nose and the grass just underneath to make the blacks really stand out. This way the fur around the face stayed softer. When you compare these two, the fur on the right is so harsh and actually makes the hedgehog look quite sinister. So here's a photo of what the finished print actually looks like, and I'm really pleased with it. I made some bookmarks for friends and family for Christmas, and they went down really well, so I thought I'd make some to put in my Etsy shop. This one I actually had help from my partner in designing it. The last time I made them, I accidentally printed out 2 of the fronts, so I'll print 2 of the backs today and sort that out. I print them on 300 GSM card, and I found that with this thickness of card it's best to use the rear paper feeder at the back, because if I use the rear paper feeder slot at the top it gets lines indented in the card. Now that they're printed, I just need to cut them all out. I use a scalpel for this because when it's just one sheet of card, I find it easier than having to get the large guillotine out. Before I glue the fronts and backs together, I'll trim the top corners with this corner cutter I got from Amazon. I then apply glue to the backs of both sides and stick them together, making sure that they line up. I press them together using some scrap paper over the top just to stop getting glue everywhere. I then pop them in a book until they're dry. This book has now become my press. Once the bookmarks are completely dry, I then hole punch the ribbon holes and attach the ribbon. And that's the finished bookmark, which will be available in my shop along with the sunflower bookmark when this vlog goes up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.